Well, we're continuing our Tech Thursdays with Southern Mississippi. We're actually in Hattiesburg today at the School of Polymer Science and Engineering, talking to Tristan Clemens, who is an assistant professor here. How are you?
Hey Jim, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. Tell us a little bit of background about yourself, if you would, please.
Yeah, so I'm an assistant professor here in the School of Polymer Science and Engineering at the University of Southern Mississippi. Been here for just over 2.5 years now, and our lab really focuses on applications of polymeric materials for biomedical applications. So how can we use polymers for medicines or for delivering drugs better, or what we're going to talk about today, tissue regeneration.
Okay, so what is your research and technology?
Yeah, so our materials we make are actually, we develop materials that can be sprayable, so we can think about spraying these materials over a wound bed. So think about a burn injury or some sort of skin injury where the skin's been compromised, and we can actually spray our materials over that and hold the cells in place that are important for regenerating healthy skin. And the way we want to do that is, currently if you go in for a burn injury and you want to get treatment, the current treatment is a full thickness skin graft, where they'll take healthy skin from another region of your body, stretch that out and put it back over where you've got this large burn. We're looking at ways that we can synthetically match that by being able to take our materials and spray them out over a wound bed to get great coverage, take skin cells with that to actually get good adherence, and then actually regrow that skin on the patient ourselves.
I can't help but think of the scene from the Avengers Endgame when the Hulk burned his hand real bad with the thing, and then Tony Stark sprayed that stuff over it. It's kind of like that, huh?
A little bit like that. I mean, the thing that's so impactful about burns and skin injuries in general is the skin is our first line of defense in our immune system.
Well, it's
right?
the largest organ of the body.
Exactly, there you go, you know your stats. So
yes.
The thing about skin though is that when it's compromised, you just have much higher chances of infection and things like that. And if it doesn't repair properly, you also have problems with scarring. And so you can imagine, we're talking about large surface area of the body being scarred, for example, then it really impacts a patient's quality of life. Whether they can actually make a cup of coffee in the morning, or even open up a cupboard or brush their teeth, for example, if they have scars all over their fingers, becomes a real challenge. So if we can heal those wounds faster, have better, healthier skin in those regenerative sites, then we get better quality of life for that patient going forward.
Why did you decide to explore this?
So my lab in general works on biomedical applications because I think I just inherently like to help people. You know, we've got other projects working on cancer treatments, on heart disease, and this work on burns and spray on skin. I think for me, it's very easy to actually, one, motivate students, and for me, holistically, I like to think that the materials I'm working on could have an impact on helping patients.
It's amazing how the science has come forward so far forward, especially in this, with being able to, go back to the movie, spraying the hand and everything, and help heal that wound and seal that wound without putting a whole bunch of bandages or something wrapping around it.
Right, yeah, and the spray delivery is the important part. There's a lot of material science that goes on in terms of actually developing the polymers in the right way so that we can spray these effectively, get nice spray coverage, and actually get even spread of those cells so we don't have big clumps in one area and not in the other area, for example.
Right.
So, you know, even though it sounds quite trivial, it's actually a bit of a challenge, and that's probably where the art and the science of our invention actually it lies.
Now, because the old days of putting sulfur pads or something on that, I mean, it's taken away from that. But
that's right. And the other thing that we sort of combat is that, you know, if you have a small injury, then it's easy to sort of heal that very quickly and then have, you know, a donor skin site, for example, to do that. You know, large injuries, or we're talking about mass casualty situations, that's where our invention can have real impact. And so, you know, we're excited to push that forward here in Mississippi and see what we can do with it.
That's something that EMTs would definitely welcome into having in their ambulances.
EMTs, definitely defense is interested in this as well, and that's where we're trying to push this invention next.
All right, Tristan Clemens, who is an assistant professor here at the School of Polymer Science and Engineering at Southern. If you want some more information, just go to the website. Well, we continue our Tech Thursdays here at Southern Miss, and we're talking to Stephanie Smith, who is an associate professor here. How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. If you would, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So I'm really interested in developing technology to support interventionists when they deliver interventions to children and adolescents to overall improve their behavioral health. So we just kind of augment those already existing interventions using technology so that it's easily disseminated, and also that teachers can use these intervention tools easily.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself too. I mean,
Okay.
how you got started in all this.
Sure. I started this out as a postdoc at the Yale Child Study Center, and we were doing a lot of intervention work. And I saw this firsthand how, when I was responsible for teaching or helping teachers use the good behavior game in their classrooms, and I saw where interventions can go awry and where teachers struggle to implement the intervention as intended because they have so much on their plate. And so I thought of ways where we could use technology to assist and support teachers in using the intervention as intended so that students benefit from those interventions the way that we expect them to.
And what kind of different programs are there? Can you kind of give me a description of some of the things that you do?
Yeah, so the one that we currently developed is funded by the Institute of Education Sciences, and it's technology that we've called the Good Behavior Game technology. And what it does is basically delivers the entirety of the intervention through teachers to the classroom. So it's projected on a smart board, and the students see when they're earning points for good behavior and when they get tallies for not following the rules of the classroom. And it's all interactive and fun and game-like, and the students get really excited about earning rewards at the end of this game. And then also there's implementation prevention built into the technology, so that if a teacher goes off course, then we are able to get them back on track within the technology by these safeguards saying, hey, look out for positive behaviors and reward your students for those, or make sure to switch up your team so that everyone is winning or has a chance to win. And so things like that we saw that kind of went awry when we observed classrooms before using the intervention.
What does it mean to the community for something like this?
Well, the technology allows this tool to be available to teachers across the United States, even in really under-resourced schools. So they have access to this tool that will guide them through the entirety of the intervention. And this can happen extremely quickly and easily, and even in under-resourced schools where they might not have access to technology. So that's what's really exciting about it.
Why did you decide to explore something like this?
I felt like there was a big need for it because one of the main areas that teachers struggle the most with is classroom behavior management.
Oh, yes.
And so,
Well, I hate to say this, but nowadays, from whenever I was in school years ago, when you had respect and everything for your teachers and everything, unfortunately, in a lot of schools, they don't anymore.
Yeah.
And they're having to deal with these things.
Right, and it's a great positive reinforcement tool. It follows PBIS principles, and so it's already kind of under that umbrella that teachers are already using in their classrooms. So why not have technology do most of the brunt work for them, help them manage their classrooms, and so they have well-behaved classrooms so they can focus on their instruction. Stephanie
Smith, Associate Professor here at the University of Southern Mississippi. As we continue our Tech Thursdays with Southern Miss, we appreciate your information on that. If you'd like some more information, just go online, call the number on your screen if you'd like to find out more. Get a tour of Southern. It's a beautiful place.